thing about the NEC is that there's always something crazy going on. That's impressive. Hello, welcome to Also Driven.
Hello.
It's been a while. In case you've forgotten, I'm Jim and he's Sean.
I am.
Where
Yes.
are we?
We are outside sunbathing. Oh no, we're not. We're in the NEC in Birmingham.
And what is that green thing behind you?
That is something you don't know about. It's my Twingo. Okay, so this is a 1993 Renault Twingo Mark 1. It was registered in the first 3 months of production, which makes it special. And what makes it particularly special is that it's quite rusty. Yeah, that was a special edition that they got in the the first few months of production. No, I'm joking. It's got a few little features that make it kind of early, and I love early cars, as I'm sure you might know. So things like the courtesy light is above the driver's door rather than the middle. We've got no internal adjustment on the passenger door mirror, and we have a tailgate that you have to use a key to unlock and not a button.
So we took it for MOT recently, which is part of the import process for a vehicle over 10 years of age. We should do a video on this one time, because we have imported quite a few cars
Yes,
over the
true.
years, and it is actually quite a simple process. But anyway, with this one, we took it for MOT, and it failed on pretty much everything we thought it would, and it didn't fail on a lot of things that we also thought it would. So it's not as bad as we thought.
No, it
The
wasn't
car
that bad.
was cheap.
The thing with MOTs as well is that it looks worse than it is, because it's like brakes imbalanced, brake something else, brake something else, brake something else. Okay, so there's like 6 items to do with the brakes, but that just means the brakes don't work.
Yeah, because it's the service brake and the hand brake.
Yeah.
So we're going to be working on the brakes. We're going to be doing a little bit of painting of the wheels,
Yeah,
because
wheel
I'm just
trims.
fussy that way. What else are you going to do?
Fog light, fit a fog light, because we have to fit a fog light on the right hand side of the car.
Although that hasn't actually arrived yet, because the first one that
Oh,
turned
yeah.
up is to fit a semi-truck.
Yeah, it was
It's the
huge.
size of the rear window of the car.
Yeah, so we're waiting for a new one to arrive. It should arrive today, but we can't get it today because we're at the NEC. Unless there's one for sale somewhere in the auto jumble. Then we'll have 3 fog lights.
We'll see.
We'll see. But anyway, we need to fit that. There's a couple more things I can't now remember, but it's general kind of tinkering.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look around the cars this morning and have a little bit of a show and tell of the things that sort of float my boat, hopefully float your boat too. So I'm going to leave him to it. Bye. Sorry, trying to avoid traffic, which is ironic at a car show. So what are we going to do?
Well, at the moment, we're going to go and talk to the other people who've got the identical Twingo to mine, which I'm a bit annoyed about, because I'm kind of hoping I'd be unique.
Yeah, also, theirs looks like the after from our before. Oh, Sean is getting the lowdown on everything from welding to paint codes over there. Claire's actually being super helpful. This was definitely worth it. Getting lots of bids, but the best thing about this little Twingo is that sticker. Well, what have you learned?
Learned how the seats, the front seats flip, because mine are so seized I don't know which way to turn the handle. So I now know which way to turn the handle. Learned that their Twingo was way more rusty than mine. So
And only
there's some
cost
hope.
£400
Yeah.
of welding
I know.
by a man who normally does garden gates.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, it's solid. That's what matters. I'm going to have a go myself with the help of a friend. What else did I learn?
How the seats work, how not to do
gear
a fog
stick.
light.
Yeah, they put the new fog light where someone has cut off the towing line. I'm not doing that. And yeah, they got a radio for 30 quid.
This is a sore point.
It's a very sore point. Never mind. And then what was the other thing we looked at? Oh, their gear linkage is it's a bit floppy like mine is, but not quite as floppy. Fifth on mine is really far away. It's basically where the passenger's knee is.
It's occurring.
I need to find the right socket for the hub nut. Not hub nuts, just the hub nut. Different things.
Because
Because humans don't have sockets. In the time that he has been like looking at you despairing, I found it. It's a 30.
okay, what are you doing?
I am taking the rear drum off on this side because it's failed the MOT on basically brake imbalance, and this handbrake isn't working as well. So I'm going to take it off and see if I can adjust the shoes out. I think that's probably needed.
Because you did it once on a Fiat 500.
Yes,
And it looks the same.
it does, according to the internet.
Okay, it's already causing problems.
Okay. Maybe we'll not do this.
What's that?
Maybe we'll not do this. And
Well,
we'll wait
in
till
case
I'm
something snaps.
yeah. We'll wait till I'm home and I use my electric windy gun. That'll get that off the hollow.
So the brake situation.
We can't do it. Basically, I need to use my windy gun at home, so we're not doing that. So brakes will have to wait. But I have changed the bulb.
Oh, that's exciting.
Well, it was an MOT failure, so one off the list.
Definitely worth driving 800 miles this weekend for. We're just heading to the Wartburg people, which are here. And I have never actually, the Wartburgs, by the way, actually had a separate chassis, and I have never seen one with the body removed. And this must be one of the weirdest chassis I have ever seen on a car. And that is where the infamous gear stick would go in. Yeah, my parents used to actually have one of those in 1968. And my mum used to do this thing because the gear stick would always come out. That's probably a really bad thing to do on camera. So yeah, the gear stick used to pop out all the time, and she would actually then pull this gear stick out and she would wave it around like she was doing some sort of Harry Potter shit, and then slam it back in and go into the next gear. And that's one of my earliest memories. It's amazing the power of nostalgia. If you've watched our videos before, you will always know that we tend to end up very close to the Poles. And the Poles set themselves a challenge every year to build a car. So literally the other day, that came in as a shell. And they have about 3 hours, I think, left to actually start it and drive it out. This 126 was one of the cars I think they made, 2 or 3 years ago. Just came in as a shell. And Sunday at 4:30, it was ready to drive out. They are a bit mad, but as I've always said, if you want something done, get a Pole to do it. So the Twingo people were here that we met earlier.
Yes, and Radio Peril might be no longer Radio Peril. Hopefully.
Did we tell? Did we
Well,
tell
no, we
the
didn't.
folks?
So basically, I bought a radio to go with my Twingo. It's a very specific radio. Would you like to show the boys and girls what the radio looks like?
I will.
Okay. And it was extremely expensive, and I don't know why I bought it. I was on the higher and bought a Twingo. I was like, I has to have a matching radio. Anyway, bought it from France. Huge amount of money, plus blooming Brexit fee thing, customs, what's it? £75 customs. Anyway.
Can I interject just like, this whole radio cost more than the last car I bought,
Yeah. It's nearly 50% of the cost of the actual Twingo just for the radio.
and it didn't work.
Correct. And it didn't work. Medium wave and long wave worked fine. FM, it froze. Like when you touched any of the controls for FM, it just went silent. Anyway, the nice man who had the Twingo came over and said, oh, I've got an instruction manual for the radio in English. So I took a photo of it, and it said how to do manual tuning instead of automatic tuning, which you hold a button down and it will manually tune. So I've been able to manually tune it to stations, and it's not freezing. The only trouble is we're inside the NEC and there is no radio signal. So I can't actually tell whether it works or not. We'll see.
Update later. Little fixer up for you.
What's the phrase? Valty cut out.
Oh God.
So my favourite thing about MX-5s is the door handles that you can put your finger into, and I remember going to Penrith Automotive in Anglesey when I was a kid, and they had one on display inside the showroom, and I was always like, oh, I love these door handles on this car, it's so small, it fits me as a child.
That's an ouch.
Poor love. Is it a Bedford? Oh no, it is a Bedford. It's got a Vauxhall steering wheel, but it doesn't have a Bedford front.
Definitely in need of some TLC.
I quite like that.
It needs a lot of work.
I know. I have a Mark 1 Aston.
There's a really nice Metro behind us,
So 1.3S, really early one,
which has
pre-MG.
a dent.
Big dent.
And there's a really interesting story about the dent.
Yes.
As can be seen, it's a remarkably well-preserved early Metro. The dent in the rear quarter is a result of a London driver apparently being distracted by a sex shop window and colliding with the Metro. So this was Kevin and Heike's. They were friends of mine. Fit Panda. Yeah, actually, no, they're still on my Facebook, actually. So they actually got this car restored in the maybe about 10 years ago, I think. Before both of them decided that they wanted to actually buy a overlander and travel through Africa.
Okay, that's a bit different.
Yeah, so they did this wonderful restoration on this car. They bought a brand new engine from Italy.
Wow.
It's beautifully restored. Even if you look, the seats inside
Oh wow.
are all brand new material.
That's such an 80s material. Looks like kind of a maths workbook from school. Also, if I bought this car in this auction, which I will not because it's already been and I don't have that much money, this is a Bianca special edition, so of course I would name it Ricky.
Anyway, that's sold with fees for about £6,300, which is actually, because it's been sold several times in the last few years by people who have bought it. I think actually that's one of the lower amounts it's went for. I think the highest amount it's went for was close to 10. Oh, Sean is just having a look at the Stilo. It's one of the Schumacher special editions. And this is one of the rarer ones with a manual 6-speed. Yes, this celebrated Schumacher's win of the Formula something or other. Formula One.
Even I know that.
I'm not a huge fan. But you got these and you got a Cinquecento and I think you got a Punto. I can't really remember.
I didn't know you could get a Stilo. I mean, did anyone buy them?
Well, yeah, they've got like a 5-cylinder engine. They're like really fast.
Okay, cool.
Although I think this is more us.
Yeah, it's a bit fast. That one I like, the burnt orange.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I like that.
That's really good.
I know I'm kind of known for all these stupid little cars with no horsepower, but you know what? I actually used to own one of these. Insert picture here of Jim under the Forth Bridge with his newly purchased Lancia Delta Integrale. They actually rust in places that cars should never rust.
Right.
Like here along the top of the tailgate.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's like they rust in the weirdest places. And mine did the same thing with the paint. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's like kind of like little bubbles there. Yeah, mine did the same thing.
I still occasionally think about that lovely one we spotted when we were in, was it Turin? That's just a normal Delta. Do you remember? It was blue.
Oh, yes.
It was so good.
You and your base model brilliance.
It was base model. Talking about kind of base model-y kind of things, they rebadged it, you fool.
Oh,
is it not a line from the show? Everyone thinks it is.
Oh, God, that's the shiniest Metro I think I've ever seen. Oh, that is lovely.
Nightfire Red, I think, is that the name of the colour?
Yeah, because you got a lot of 200s in that shade,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, did.
But that is the shiniest I've ever seen any of those.
Jim really loves the 100s and the Rover Metros. I don't. I have no interest in them, but he would like one.
Well, only to contrast and compare with
Yeah.
our Metro and then
Yeah.
move it on.
Yeah, maybe.
You really don't get weirder than this, do you?
Oh.
Yes, very nice inside. Do you know though the director of Aston Martin did say that they made more money on these than they did on DB9s
Wow, okay.
because people customized these so much because they were so cheap.
Right, okay.
Do you know my dad made these?
No, you never said that before.
This Fiesta is very nice, but holy foo bars.
I'm guessing it didn't sell because it doesn't have a thing saying this car.
Yeah,
is
but I mean, even for that,
Yeah.
who buys a brand new car and does 800 miles in it?
Yeah.
Again, another lovely little Fiesta. We do love those wheel trims. They do actually look like
Never
alloys.
seen anything like
Yeah.
that before.
Really rare. But also what's really rare is this actually sold with a guide of 7,000 to 9,000. It's no reserve.
Yeah, so it might have gone for less than that.
Yeah,
but still.
be curious to see what that went for.
But does this mean that Mark III Fiestas are now suddenly have just come of age slightly and people know about their existence? And they're not kind of the
Ford
runt?
tax has
Yeah,
spread.
Maybe.
Yeah. By the way, behind you is a very nice Fiat Coupe.
There's another one there.
Yeah. Oh, is it sold as well? Yes, it is a good day for the Fiats. That one does have a reserve and it's got an estimate of 10 to 12. And this one is 5 to 6, and again without reserve.
I definitely prefer the 5 to 6,000.
Well, we managed to leave the auction area without buying anything.
Also, you can't quite see it, but what do you call a man with a chair on his head? There he is. It's a man carrying a chair on his head.
Oh, the poles are getting on rightly. There's wheels on, there's an engine in. Yeah, they've got an hour left to get that sorted out. Let's hope that it works. Oh, it's a base model brilliance moment. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, herringbone tweed.
5-speed though. It's good. Posh.
Yeah, it's like
Lovely
posh.
sunroof. Is it a Melo?
It's an L.
Oh, an L.
What was base then?
Merit.
Oh, Merit, and that was your 4-speed box, was it? Oh, not just a Jaguar, but a Daimler. Look at that interior, and of course, the cell phone. Ooh, lots of lovely Saabs. This is Alan's dream car. He really wants a classic Saab convertible, and that one is very nice. Absolutely stunning. I say that all the time at these events. Oh, it's stunning and it's gorgeous, but oh, look at that. Okay, that is all brand new. Even the dash, I think, has been redone because they crack really badly on the older cars. And finally, we're just popping quite close to the Fates. This one looks familiar to you. It is actually the Wheeler Dealer's car. There's a really interesting story behind it. Someday I will maybe mention on camera all the background information of this one.
I don't think I know it.
No, but yeah. But yeah, it's basically painted in sort of bed liner from a pickup truck. It's very rough to the touch. To the point when I think it's actually been sanded down slightly, because it used to be you could have like cut yourself on it if you rubbed your hand on it. It was very sharp. But yeah, it's had some interesting.
The seat covers, they dance.
Well, no, they're actually from a Panda Dance.
Didn't know that was a special edition.
Yeah. Oh, and we've got folks from the Fiat Gun. Okay, the Fiat stand have went all out with their Fiat 6 accessories. We can get yourself a Fiat lawnmower and also your Fiat bicycle to go on top of your Tempra, which also has the crossbars fitted, which are the genuine Tempra crossbars. Just to let you have a look. Tailor fitted, and then they have the roof rails to put the bike on. And yeah, I covet Gavin's Tempra wagon. I really do.
My back hurts.
My everything hurts. Anyway, right, back to the Twingo, because you need to get a wheel put back on it, and we have how long left? What's the time?
26 minutes.
26 minutes. Oh my god.
It's like the end of changing rooms. Okay,
we got the wheel back on again, even though we didn't actually do anything. These are incredibly rare and expensive wheel trims on the Twingo, so Sean is putting some cable ties on. And it is 10 to 5, and the Poles have a working car. They just took it down off the ramps and drove it a few feet there, and I missed the startup, but they got very excited. Oh, another thing that's got done this weekend was this graphics package on this Maestro van. They're recreating a British Gas van, and yeah, that's pretty impressive. Again, something done over the weekend. Just back from our wanders.
bought some BDX.
Yes, and I got some anti-rust BDX stuff, which is
Alpha Lamb,
Alpha Lamb,
which is brilliant. Alpha Lamb. We've used it on Des, I think, on his sills.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff. It's like a lanolin or whatever stuff. It's very good. And yeah, the BDX is obviously the best thing for getting stuck nuts unstuck.
That was a rather successful show. We had lots of lovely people who came up and said lots of lovely things to us.
Very much so.
You know, for you, like 500 people who watch these videos, we do
do
appreciate it.
A lot of the comments were, why aren't you making enough videos, or why haven't you had a video for ages? So that's nice.
I bought a house.
Yeah, that's the
Simple stuff. It's been
We've
busy.
been busy. Been decorating. Only houses. No, that's a different one. Also houses. That's it.
Anyway, just the final giant blowing of the horn thing to go. So we'll say goodbye before that. But thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.